just says bad, Greta, by the way.
Okay, it's like recording, and I'm not gonna cut
Sorry,
that
can I start?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Butterflies podcast. So, for this week's topic, we're going to be talking about how, even though not a lot of people know about Turner syndrome, there still managed to be some misconceptions about it. So, we're going to be talking a bit about those today. Does anyone want to start?
I think one. I'm trying to think of one we could talk about. Because we actually talked about it quite a lot, like as a group, these past couple of weeks. And there's so many, honestly.
I think a misconception is we look like children.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
When I was younger, I got into really these like big storytime animation channels that were fake.
I remember us watching one.
There were two on Turner syndrome. One of them has been wiped off of the internet. Completely don't know where it is. Tried looking for it. The other one was about a girl who her family adopted a child. It ended up being a 36-year-old woman with Turner syndrome who was a criminal on the run.
Yeah, no, I don't think any of us really look like children, to be honest. Like, I feel like we look like a little bit younger than our age, but it's not like...
And the comments were like so ridiculous. Someone was like, I want a Turner syndrome that makes me 11 years old. No, you don't want this.
That's crazy. Yeah, those
we need to...
quote unquote real storytime animations are crazy.
Real guys.
That's something that totally happens. I've totally...
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, so much.
We're being sarcastic in case
My
it's
main
not clear.
experience with that is I got offered a kids menu like a couple weeks ago for people under 10.
I think
it's proof thing that we do look younger than people, but I don't think you can take it to
repeat that. I coughed.
And it's weird. My sister is 12 at the moment, and she is taller than me, but my mom is like, you can still tell you're older, like...
Yeah, I feel like it's only the height thing. Like, if we, like, looked at our faces, like, you could, and, and how, like, we're developed once we've been on estrogen, like, you can tell, like, we're, like, older teens. But, like, if you just look at height, then maybe, but, like face-wise, like, I don't think so.
And also, because I'm so recently diagnosed, I remember being, like, 13, 14, and looking like a child. So, really, if you've gotten your treatments, then you should be developing fairly normal and not look like a 10-year-old.
I mean, maybe that's why the misconception happens, because I feel like there are some girls who go, like, undiagnosed for so long and didn't get that treatment.
Yeah, but there's no way, like, a 36-year-old can look like a 6-year-old, even with Turner syndrome.
That's true.
Oh, yeah. Also, Greta, I feel like I want to point out, like, 13, like, you were a child.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, too.
No, but a 13-year-old should not look the same as a 10-year-old.
I mean, it's only 3 years apart, babes.
But
that's true, yeah.
Guys, you don't get it.
Well, let's stay on...
Wait, I actually have a... Wait, Maddie, you can keep going, sorry.
Oh, sorry, Grace. If you want to go, go.
You can go. It's
Guys,
fine.
we can't fight over this. Just pick, please.
Okay, I guess I'll go. I actually have a funny story from, like, a couple of weeks ago. So I volunteer, like, at my mom's work, which is a school, and I'm working with second graders right now, and one of them came up to me and was like, are you a child or a teenager?
That actually happened to me, too. So, where I live, like, there are a lot of people with young kids, and there was this little kid, and for context, I walk around barefoot all the time. It is a known thing that I do. My feet are built different. And this little kid noticed that, and he was like, that's wrong. That's wrong. And I was like, okay, child. And he was like, how old are you? And I was like, 17. And he was like, wow, I'm 6. And I ended up getting into a random conversation with this child, and I was like, okay, where the hell do you live?
Although, to be fair, there is a difference, I feel like, between a child thinking you're a child versus, like, an adult thinking you're
a child.
Fun fact,
sure,
my friend
yeah.
Kayla, when she first met me on her tour day, she thought I was a middle schooler. She thought I
Wait,
was
who did?
12. My friend Kayla, she thought I was 12.
Oof.
Bro,
Well,
I
Also,
think
Maddie, what were
Anyway,
you going to say earlier?
Let's stay on topic a little bit. I feel like another big one is the elephant in the room, intersex. A lot of medical things will say, oh yeah, Turner syndrome is intersex. But the vast majority of the community doesn't agree. Like,
Yeah, no.
No.
with
Yeah,
my-
like there might be, I think there's one variation that, like, you have some Y genetic material, but that's even rarer than
I
just
think
normal TS.
I
that's
think
right.
we technically, we are technically medically intersex, but I think it's up to the person what Turner syndrome to choose to identify with that.
No,
And I
we're
know-
not. I mean, I don't think we are, because we have, this is gonna sound weird, but we have, like, clear, like, you know,
Yeah.
like, sex organs and
Mhm.
stuff.
I
And that's, like,
I think the main
doesn't
thing,
mix.
because technically the sex chromosomes don't align with that, that's the only reason. And I think it's mainly up to the person with TS to choose whether or not they identify with that, but I know most girls with TS choose not to.
Also, there's a lot of misconceptions that, because I had to read an article for bio class, and it said people with TS don't have ovaries. That is a very, very large misconception. That is not true whatsoever. If you meet someone with TS, because if we didn't have ovaries, there's no way we could have a period, whether it be with prescribed progesterone or naturally. We have ovaries.
Wait, can I add something too? Fun fact, I actually talked to one of my doctors about the intersex thing, because I first kind of like learned about that misconception like a couple of years ago, and so I finally was like, I'm just gonna ask my doctor, and I had asked my doctor, and what they said is, yeah, there is like a variation of Turner syndrome where they can have like a little bit of like a Y chromosome, like Sarah said earlier, and they're considered intersex. The variation that we have, like the typical Turner syndrome, where it's like missing an X or partially an X, we are not considered intersex.
I think
Yeah.
I think it depends on who you ask. But either way, most girls with Turner syndrome don't identify as intersex.
I guess with me, when I think of intersex, I think of like someone who has both male and kind of like female.
Exactly. With me, it's like, yeah, I understand why someone might medically I put that label on, but for me, it's like everything's fine. There isn't a reason for me to identify as intersex. Like, that is not a struggle that I've had to deal with, so I don't deserve putting that label on a struggle that I've never had.
Yeah, and like Greta said, we very clearly do have ovaries. Like, you don't have ovaries if you
Even
want
me,
like female signs.
they can't find them on
Because if we
ultrasounds.
didn't have
Mine are
ovaries,
super.
there is no way I would be getting a natural period. There would be no way possible.
Bro, my period started today, and I was like, oh crap, because of
And
my
also,
IUD.
one of them was that we don't make eggs, which is also completely
We
wrong.
don't. We don't
You
have
can't
eggs.
have a period if you don't have eggs.
No, Greta, honey.
No, Greta.
I'm reading it wrong. I read it wrong. Hold on. I'm reading it right now.
We don't have eggs.
No, we don't.
No?
Greta, that's
No,
only why.
okay, Greta. Okay, everybody. Let me explain this. Greta, we still do need to have a period to get everything cleaned out. We just don't have eggs, honey.
That's part of the reason why we can't have kids.
Children.
Because our eggs like kind of vanished when we were like younger.
Yeah, I have absolutely no eggs, because let me tell you.
Okay, yeah, it's a rapid loss of them. Yeah,
Exactly.
Like before you're even born. So
yeah,
we do
exactly, babes. It's just to clean everything out, because it wouldn't, knowing Bloodmageddon, it wouldn't make sense if I had eggs. Bloodmageddon would have not made sense at all.
But this is exactly why we're having this conversation. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
To
I'm actually a
learn.
little confused because I always thought I did because I've always had periods naturally. Now,
Thing
now I
is,
wonder if
even
I,
I
if
mean,
now I
I
wonder
didn't.
if I need to now I wonder
Well,
if I need to
a
talk to my
period
endocrinologist
is
about it.
a period's the shedding of the uterine lining, and then ovulation is the stuff to do with eggs. And I don't think we ovulate, but we have.
I think with Mary, if you do get a period naturally, that would be something to check in with your daughter to see, or your doctor, not daughter, doctor. You don't even have a child.
Yeah,
Anyways,
go
I was gonna
talk
say
to your daughter.
I'll go talk to my non-existent daughter and see what she says about it.
go talk to your doctor and get a fertility test done to see if you can have kids, because that is something worth looking into.
The thing is, from what I've heard from my personal doctor as well, is even if you all like kind of like mosaic, which is like partially an X, there's still a good likely chance that you still can't have kids because there's a chance that you may go through like menopause at like a younger age.
Yeah, actually,
I do
now
think
I
I would
remember.
mention that and to make sure you talk to your doctor on.
Yeah, actually, I think I remember now because my endocrinologist, she's kind of been on me about this for a couple of years. She wants me to talk to a reproductive endocrinologist because now remember, I do have eggs, and they want me to talk about maybe freezing them, so essentially kind of starting the IVF process. Not to have children anytime soon, obviously, but just like in case something were to happen where it would stop, where I would go through like an early menopause, I could still have those eggs
Yeah.
kind of saved to have children.
Yeah,
I
I've
would love
heard
to do
about
that.
that
So
a
I do
lot.
have
I'll mention
eggs.
this. Again, I learned this from my doctor because I kind of ask my doctor like a lot of questions. Even if you do have also viable eggs, there is actually a chance because you have Turner syndrome for the egg. Or
I
like
think
your,
it's also
your
like
daughter
a matter. I
to
think
have
I know
Turner
we
syndrome.
talked about it at Turner Syndrome Camp. Like, part of it could be your heart not being able to take it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the main reason why if you do get pregnant with it, which is extremely, extremely rare, the main issue is your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I
Like,
remember looking up like a post. There was like a post the Turner Syndrome Foundation had where they talked about how there's something called aortic dissection. I think that's the term, where essentially your aorta like
Yeah.
could like rupture during like the pregnancy or labor, and that can it can if you get like into like an emergency room, they can fix it, and it'll be okay. But like if it's
I
not
think.
taken care of properly, it can
I
be
think.
fatal.
I think one way or another, those are questions you should ask your doctors to figure out, Mary.
yeah,
Like,
that's what.
Yeah. I need to get a heart
Because
MRI at some
TS,
point
Yeah.
in the
Mary,
next couple
so
years.
oh, I
So
just got a heart MRI.
yeah,
Fucking hate it.
It
yeah, I need to
sucks.
do
I have
that.
to
I
have
need to do that soon.
And
I
So.
have to
again,
have one here in a couple of months, and I'm so not looking forward to it.
I just completely forgot that my
Okay.
endocrinologist had told me about talking about
Okay,
freezing eggs,
so
so
I
wanted
think
to
some
clarify that.
other.
Although I will say, if you do try to have a child, if you have a daughter, there is a chance they might have Turner syndrome because you have.
No, it's not. It's
I
not
don't think
TS is
heritable like
so.
that. I
hereditary.
don't think
I don't
so.
TS
think
is
so.
hereditary.
There's
No.
leading into other misconceptions. I
No,
don't
the thing
believe
is,
it can be. I don't believe it's something that's like passed down.
I
It's
don't
like
think
not.
so.
I said, I
No.
talked to my doctor, and if you do have Turner syndrome, there is a chance that your child could you have the condition.
I mean, no.
Other than that, it's
they
not
were
genetic.
something like
Here's
that
the
at camp as well, guys.
Well, here's the thing. Turner syndrome, it's kind of like Russian roulette in a way, except Turner syndrome roulette. I think there could be an increased risk of it, but I am unsure. That makes sense. Because on one hand, like, my cousin has it, so I think some families are at higher risk, but I don't think there's any way to pass it down. Like, like eye color. I don't think it's like that. It's more of like an elevated risk.
Yeah, it's just a random error that happens during
Yeah,
fertilization.
again, it's
Which
like
actually,
Turner syndrome roulette. It's like Turner
And
syndrome
also, the
roulette.
reason there are so many misconceptions about TS, I think, is because it's so different in every single person.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
incredibly different. Like,
100%.
you can hear the word TS, but one person will have completely different side effects than the other, most likely.
Even
Yeah,
people
because
like
we were just talking about how I have the eggs and I get periods naturally, where I don't think most of our friends with TS do that.
No, I don't.
no, Blood McGinn improved that for me.
Actually, yeah. So going back to it being a just completely random genetic error, If there's any parents listening, that's another misconception I want to clear up really quick, is you didn't do anything, because my mom broke her leg a little bit after she was pregnant with me, and when they knew that like something was off, like after I was born, and I like struggled a lot with getting oxygen and stuff, but like I hadn't been diagnosed yet, she was like, oh no, is whatever's going on my fault because of that, and yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Then we figured out it was TS. She like felt guilty for a while, but then we learned that like no, it's just, you know, it's like a completely random thing. So, like it's nothing you did. Your next child probably won't have it, and all that stuff.
I agree with Sarah. Pregnancy is an extremely complicated process. So much can go wrong. You are growing a human, which is a very difficult task. Do not beat yourself up for things going wrong. The only thing you can do is do what's best for you and your child. Do not beat yourself up because the way it's not going as planned. You are growing a human. It's okay. Things can go wrong.
I don't think it's a matter of things can go wrong, because I think it's a matter of like things will probably go wrong, and you just have to be on the watch and do your best.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. That's a better way to put it. Like, no pregnancy is perfect.
It's
Yeah,
not, truly.
and that's okay.
Yeah. I think some other misconceptions about TS are like we all look the same.
Yeah, no, we don't.
I think it's like people think of TS and they automatically think of Down syndrome, and I know a lot of people with Down syndrome look similar. Like, I don't want to say they have a look, because that isn't necessarily 100% true for everyone has it, but there's definitely some similar features there, and they automatically assume it's the same for us.
Yeah,
Even
like
with people.
yes, there are common features, but like for example, Mary and I look like completely different people. Sophia and I look like completely different people. Sarah and I look completely different.
Exactly. I think it's also the same with like Down syndrome. Like, yeah, there are some similar features, but not everybody's gonna look the same. Like, not everyone's gonna have a webbed neck or like weird eyelids. Like, not everyone's going to be the same.
I almost didn't get diagnosed because my pediatrician knew someone with a webbed neck who had TS, and he assumed that was like a necessity, and I don't. But actually, that's the definition of a syndrome, is like that variability in, not necessarily, I guess I don't know if impacts the right word, but like with how much it like changes things. Like that's why it's a syndrome, is because it's that spectrum, which is true for Down syndrome as well.
The thing is, like, I still look so much like my mom and sister. Like,
yeah,
we still look like our family members. We don't look like each other, really.
Yeah, because you are a family. Like, it's not gonna completely change how you look.
Yeah, I think I look a lot like my mom, and there are some things about me that look like my dad, but I also know I have some features that are more aligned with Turner syndrome. It also depends on like what side of the spectrum you are. Like, I know I'm relatively low on the TS spectrum. Like, I don't the only thing I think you can tell from me is my neck. Like, my neck is a very TS neck. But that's about it.
But there are some times where we do look similar. Like Greta and I have been called sisters, twins,
It's scary. It's scary.
Because we look alike.
Like, if
and
you
part of
you guys, I've posted pictures of Maddie and us on the TS Instagram thing, and we look shockingly alike. It's scary.
Very scary.
Well, I think I can tell the difference between you guys on baby photos. So you guys don't look that. There are some similarities, but you guys also don't look that alike.
Is my twin sister someone from Maddie's school?
Yes. So again, we do look alike, and part of it is TS features, but the vast majority of it is that we just happen to look alike with the same hair color, with the same, eyes and etc.
Yeah, Maddie and I both have very dark brown hair and eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of have a similar face shape in certain ways.
Right. And some of it is TS and some of it isn't, and that's okay.
Yeah. I think with me and my brother, like, we obviously both don't look the same, but there are also some of things that are similar. Part of it is family genes, but part of it is also the fact that I have a chromosomal disorder and my brother doesn't.
Right. Like, my brother is above 6 foot, and I'm not even 5 foot.
Like, my mom and dad are both 6 foot. My sister's like, what, 5'11", and I'm here at 4'8". Like, there are going to be some differences for sure. Like, if you have a naturally tall family, you're gonna be like the odd one out in that way.
Okay. Are there any other misconceptions that people can think of?
There's something from one of the things that kind of inspired me to pick this topic was just I'm doing these 2 foundational biology classes this semester at college, and so I just have a bio textbook for that, and so I, out of curiosity, like searched for TS in that to see if they mention it, and what they said kind of bothered me. So I don't know if you guys want me to share that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Share
an
the
article I
Mary.
read from
Yeah,
that was
I want to hear it.
too.
Yeah.
There's so much misinformation out there, and that's
Okay,
harmful.
Greta, I love you, but let Mary speak.
Yeah, so it says exozygotes will develop into a sterile female of short stature with a webbed neck and sex organs that never fully mature during puberty. The mental abilities of an exo individual are in the low normal range. This condition, called Turner syndrome, occurs roughly once in every 5,000 female births, which I should clarify, it is not 5,000, it's one in either 2,000 or 2,500, around there.
2000.
That's
So,
insane.
so it's just the mental abilities thing, especially, kind of offended
Bro!
me, I'm gonna be honest.
Speaking of
Like-
which, I do remember doing like a neurological kind of like test to see if I had like any like learning disabilities, and I do remember they said that they thought I was stupid
My uncle straight
with
up,
it.
I mean, I don't know what I'm allowed to say, but my uncle did say I was developmentally, like, messed up.
Yeah, that's what they said on my test. Like,
Yeah.
Which, I mean, some people with TS.
Yeah.
That's just like how some people without TS are. Like, I know
Sarah, I don't
personally.
think truly anyone with TS is. I think
Well, not as bad as people will make it out to be.
I think my uncle, he straight up told my dad, he was like, it's not like she's, and then he used a word against disabled people.
Which is like not a thing with us. Yeah.
No, and my dad was like, did anyone hear this? You
And
just
it's like,
called my daughter stupid.
and it's like, I want to clarify, it's not like we aren't, capable. We are. But there are some people that are, in fact, disabled and have Turners. And that happens too.
Yeah,
they still can be smart with like the right tools and stuff.
Yeah, as long as you have the proper support for what you need, because everyone is different, especially with Turners, then I think it's going to be just fine.
Yeah. All right, do we want to wrap it up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yay.
All right, thank you so much for listening to today's episode, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.